Hi guys, welcome back. Hi guys, welcome back to Underwater Astrology, giving you the astrology for the week of March 27th through till April 3rd, 2024. This week it's really about understanding that Neptune is going deeper into Pisces by 1 degree. We'll be in Neptune 27 degrees at the start of the week. Then we go down to Neptune in 28 degrees. And so that degree is really about fullness and fertility, peak experiences, brilliantly active subconscious life cycles, the effects of the moon, Mother Nature's gifts, the full moon, natural sprites, and gardens. The shadow side is jealous protection, too many possibilities, psychic confusion, difficulty sleeping or shutting down the mind, missed opportunities, night shadows. So I think for this week we have the Sun in Pisces, 7 degrees. We have the Sun in 7 degrees Aries, and it's moving 7 degrees a week. It's moving a degree a day. Right? Mercury is slowing down. It's moving 2 degrees this week, and that's because we start Mercury retrograde on the 1st. Venus is moving pretty quickly. It's moving 10 degrees, and Mars is moving almost a degree a day, but it's not. It's moving 6 degrees this week. Jupiter moves a degree, so we go into Jupiter in 17 degrees Taurus. So that will be exciting. So Saturn stays the same, 13 degrees Pisces. Uranus stays the same in Taurus. Neptune moves a degree. Pluto stays in 1 degree. True Node stays in 15 degrees Aries. South Node stays in 15 degrees Libra. Chiron moves a degree, 19 degrees Aries. Hi guys, welcome back. So let's get to the 12 zodiac signs. Aries rising. Chiron is moving a degree, right? So Chiron is going into 19 degrees. I always say Chiron is the most important because Chiron is how we want to authentically be seen. If we don't look at Chiron, then we're just running around playing this mind-bending game of North Node Aries, I just want to run out and be seen. No. It's Chiron is the most important element this year, and it is all about this entry of vehicles. So the Sabian symbol for Aries 19 degrees is vehicles of transcendence, elevated views, transcending problems, astral travel, carpets and rugs that are special, meditation, levitation, escapes through fantasy or film. This symbol shows that you can use your imagination to lift your level of understanding into other, perhaps higher realms. By elevating ourselves above the everyday world, we can transcend worry and strife. There is a clear message here that you can lift yourself above negative situations, and by doing so, you can attain a calmer, more creative, and spiritual life. With this expanded awareness, you can have an elevated perspective that reveals greater truths. However, be a little careful not to lose yourself in the longing for escape or the exotic. You probably have to come back down to the earthly plane every now and then. The shadow side is self-defeating detachment from the everyday world, losing yourselves in flights of fancy, extreme longing for escape, using drugs or alcohol to avoid life. Right? And so that's Chiron this week. That's Chiron 19 degrees. That's the energy we're moving towards. South Node and True Node are both in 15 degrees. And then we have Neptune moves into 28 degrees. And so I really do think that we're preparing for this new moon, solar eclipse in Aries, 19 degrees next week. And we're also have a full moon next month in Libra, the lunar eclipse. So there are a lot of shifts, right? And so this is why every week we do the astrology to analyze it. And for Aries rising, I always give you guys the longest spiel, is because you guys are the leaders. So you guys are like, I'm giving you God's message, and I'm giving you my take on astrology, and you guys are running with it and almost spreading it like a fire. Or like, I also think you're the first sign, so you guys are very important. But this week it's really about understanding the difference between self-importance and also how you value yourself. Like, if you were to go out on the street, right, with this whole new elevated sense of self and try to get the same respect. You know, just because you're not reading through things carefully or these soul contracts, and you're not realizing with this Chiron journey, it's really about getting more and more authentically cool in who you are. And that could mean like you are like a neuroscientist and you're finding out everything about the brain, right? And you're like doing all this stuff about the brain. And this week you're just like, you need to stay within your tribe, you know, Aries rising, without getting too vata or too ethereal. To be honest, you guys are on the right track, but people may get jealous. So for this week, it's really about understanding, okay, if I was to share this kind of energy with other people, of course there would be a different response, because this kind of energy is used to manifest a different kind of response, a more intelligent response. Even though we're in Pluto and Aquarius, within the soul tribe, there are many different people, you know, and some people say that Aquarius is this and Aquarius is that, but ultimately Aquarius is humanity, and there are many different people in humanity, right? You could never just say humanity is one thing. You know, it's always a bunch of things. And we have to be careful not to rush in with this projection here with Neptune in the 12th house. Are we projecting our subconscious reality out in the physical world? Therefore, we cannot move through topics that are harder because they require us to slow down and look at the details and then really value ourselves, which means that taking natural precautions to protect ourselves before things are anticipated to happen. So if you've been getting this feeling like, I don't know about this neighborhood anymore, seriously, I don't know about this, you know, this place anymore. I don't know about this company anymore. I don't know about, you know, whatever I'm doing that's I've been getting this suspicious feeling about. Maybe it's time to just understand that there could be a response to that situation this week of maybe you do start feeling sick about something. And then it does require, and then because you're Aries rising, you're so lighthearted and witty, I think that you already know the answer and you're already ready for the shift. But I think this week it's getting ready for the shift. You have a new moon solar eclipse in your sign next week. Of course, you're feeling the energy already. And it's in 19 degrees Aries. And we can talk about this 19 degrees Aries. We're not going to talk about the full moon yet because it's next month. But yes, you are, and you know, that's where Chiron is going to. So Chiron is already showing you that authentic self. When you come back home and you take off your makeup and you're watching your favorite YouTuber or something, that authentic self, right? Or it could be the authentic self that's like on the stage performing. It doesn't matter. It's just that place where you find the utmost authenticity to be safe and share who you are. What do you notice in those moments? That is definitely something to pick up on, and that's definitely something that the new moon will expand on. For Taurus rising this week, it's really about understanding that, yes, you will have a new moon solar eclipse next week in your 12th house. And Chiron's there too. So it's about understanding this wise energy that's coming into the collective that is aged. This is not, even though it's Aries, the first sign, there's nothing new about this. This energy is aged. It feels like something that acquires the prefrontal cortex to adjust and adhere to, and the awakening of your brain, the awakening of your ego is supposed to evolve. Therefore, you are supposed to evolve with it, with age, right? So it's very much important to understand that Jupiter and Uranus are here in your first house. So you guys are really tapped into this energy of just, you have more gusto, you know, you're like the flying bull or something, but you're grounded, you know, because of this vehicle of transcendence with the Chiron and Aries and 19 degrees. But it's very important to understand that even with all this anticipated growth that's happening, are we still taking care of our spending habits? And that's what I see this week is sometimes with all the 12th house energy, yes, we lose ourselves in our spending habits. And as long as you catch yourself, it's fine. And if you need something, you need something, right? But it's important to understand that how can we bring in more collective awareness of what we're buying? Like if you want to buy something, buy something. You know, I'm never gonna I'm never gonna stop someone from buying something, right? But I do want to say that can you buy a healthier version of what you're buying? It could be anything. Can you bring your own bag to the shopping mall? You know, like if you're buying food, can you buy a reusable bag? You know, if your bags are breaking, you know, can you do the Amazon everything in one box? Can you afford that? Can you use recyclable things like recyclable plastics and things? You know, this kind of awareness, because Taurus is the earth, Uranus is there. I feel like there is this need to exercise this enlightenment of being more earth friendly in how you're shopping, you know, and I think that will help with that new moon solar eclipse next week. For Gemini rising this week, it's really about understanding your belief system here, the cosmic rhythms. You know, am I contributing to global warming by what I'm doing? Can I change my whole lighting system to a more a higher energy system where it's, you know, used from better sources of energy, you know, for some of you. Some of you would be really interested in that, you know, and or is it really about this week about making things personal and being like, can I be more philosophical about what I'm posting about on social media with 11th house and Jupiter and Uranus in your 12th house? Can I be more aware? Can I do hashtags? Am I doing the right hashtags? Am I doing timestamps? Am I listening to what people are saying about my content or my company? Am I really listening to them? Am I doing quality assurance on my products? Am I, you know, doing newsletters? Am I doing everything I can to get my clients to know that I am here and ready to share the truth about my company in terms of the integrity of our products? I don't know. These are just ideas for you, Gemini rising. For this week, Cancer rising, it's really about understanding with Aries, Chiron and Aries in the 19th degree, and the new moon total solar eclipse joining that next week. It's really about understanding, am I working through the issues of what people are telling me, the feedback of what people are telling me about how I'm doing things, or am I just constantly being a certain way on a certain person? Can I just be nicer to everyone this week? And what does that look like? Or do I have to have boundaries? And if you do, then implement them, you know? Out of all the signs, I'd understand if you had to have borders around people, like really, really strong borders. And I also think that Uranus here and Jupiter here in your 11th house, it's really about understanding, can I bring in more awareness to my group? Can I share information about my healing journey for some of you, how I've healed, what I'm going through, the relatability I need? Can I communicate those needs effectively with Pluto being in the first degree in Aquarius here, ruling your 8th house? For Leo rising this week, it's really about understanding that with this Chiron at 19 degrees at Aries and the new moon total solar eclipse joining that next week, April 8th, in 15 degrees Aries, in 19 degrees Aries on April 8th, 2024, it's really about understanding, am I just putting the wrong information out there? Am I putting accurate information with Jupiter and Uranus in my 10th house? Am I really doing the best to show what I'm up to? Or have I been hiding all my cards with Neptune and Pisces just wrapped up in somebody else's drama So much so that I lost myself, so much so that I see in fragments. And we all and we all see in fragments sometimes, but it's really about understanding that with Chiron here 19 degrees in your ninth house, it's about understanding that maybe what you believe in isn't so far off, but it's about understanding that you do need boundaries with how you compare yourself to others. With Neptune in eighth, sometimes it feels like you're just, taking on everyone's life. But I think that might have been the beginning of Neptune in Pisces, but as it's gone further with these last few years, I see you guys really working through those layers and being like, yeah, a lot of people were brokenhearted when I started off this transit, and how I had to find myself in the light and be like, how many groups of people did I go through, to find who truly resonated with me? And as you keep growing, you keep outshining who you were. And don't be scared of that. And this week, I see you outshining who you were. And this new moon will be in the ninth house for you on April 8th in 19 degrees Aries, which will be very close to Chiron, if not conjuncting, which will be all about this new kind of affirmation of let yourself outshine yourself, let yourself be comfortable in accepting wealth, but also working through the layers, the finite of things, the fine grains of layering, like the Grand Canyon, you're working through all the layers. It's just infinite layers. Life is just infinite layers. And when you realize life is just infinite layers, how much of this life is integration work? I mean, every part of life is integrating who you are and who you need to become to be successful and on top. And with this energy, that's kind of what I see for you guys this week. For Virgo rising this week is really about understanding that it really is about that Chiron in 19 degrees Aries ruling your 8th house. You guys fundamentally understanding the depth and utter wisdom of the other person, the depth and wisdom of what you're working on for yourself, and the depth and wisdom of where you need to go. And I think that it's really important to realize we have to slow down the mind sometimes and how we project our belief system with Jupiter in the ninth and Uranus in the ninth and Taurus for you guys, and realize that, are you ready to learn something from someone else in this field? For some of you going back to school, it really is listening to the teacher and adhering to that wavelength. Is this class suiting you? Do you need to, for some of you, need to change classes, like next semester? Is there something you would rather be studying? Do you see yourself studying other things? Of course. For Virgo rising, studying is very important. That's how you really find comfort, is learning new things. So this week it's about, is there room for me to learn new things? And that could be really exciting, something fun. For Libra rising, I think this week is really about understanding that some of this cosmic rhythms of how your relationships are going. And for some of you guys, it's like this mantra of coming back into this ancient wisdom of having some kind of projected border with everything that's going on. And because the South Node's in Libra, you guys are going to have to find your way of who is really you and who's really not. That could be the yous in the groups, who's really the yous when you're going out. Who are you connecting with? And this week with Chiron and 19 degrees in the 7th house, it's really about understanding, am I just losing myself in this group of people for this amount of period, or is this the truth? Is this the infinite truth of this layer of this relationship, this relationship can only go this far because of so and so and so. And I think it's just a mantra, right? I think some of you guys are already adhered into understanding integration at its utter level. And I think you guys are doing some of the best work of integrating everything. And that's really high up, Libra rising. But how are you getting taken advantage in your enlightenment sometimes? And sometimes for other people watching, it could be like they just don't understand. But it's the purity of intention here that keeps Libra away from the negative habits and the negative people. And so this week, it's really about understanding that maybe that projected border around these relationships is really needed. And maybe it's because you know something to be true, sometimes these relationships can go too far off from the intention with Aries in the 7th house. So maybe you are kind of stopping all that fire in a necessary right to see yourself in the relationship. For Scorpio rising this week, it's really about understanding that you really have to understand that Chiron is in 19 degrees Aries in your 6th house. So you guys are going to be getting some of those bigger symbols, bigger signs, and that's because some of you guys will be on the wrong path and needed to be aligned again. And these are the more eccentric characters, right? You need to kind of get more into the humbleness of your character. You know, some people are trying to play all these different cards, all these different characters in one life, and they're missing the point of who they're supposed to be. And I think that's, for some of you, that is going back to therapy and having a good therapist and working with them to the utter levels to expose some of those things that really need to be integrated into your psyche, your ego, and why you stay away from certain partnerships. Jupiter and Taurus and Uranus and Taurus in your 7th house. You know, what people are making you feel so frazzled and jumpy, Scorpio rising, maybe you should stay away from them. Maybe your body, maybe your soul is asking you to integrate a new soul tribe that requires work. And yes, work is needed because Libra's in the South Node in your 12th house in 15 degrees, which is requiring you to work with this feeling of, let me pull up the Sabian symbol. Yes, it's requiring you to understand the roots of things. This symbol implies issues to do with every repeating cycles of activity that often lead one around in circles or back to where one began. Circular paths lead us around, and there may indeed be a feeling of being back where you started, but remember the experience and learning you have gained on your journey to where you are now. There is a cosmic rhythm and a cycle, but when you return to what seems to be where you started, you will have a new experience and new skills. However, if you're not getting anywhere, it can be because of addictive behavior that continually leads to the same result. Going round and round, the secure path that leads nowhere. Crop circles, the wheels of progress, circular machinery, repetition, merry-go-rounds, cosmic rhythms, labyrinths. The shadow side is being lost in small details, The shadow side is being lost in small details, sweating the small stuff, episodes that repeat themselves, boredom, addictive cycles that are hard to get of treadmills. Okay, for you guys, it's about finding freedom and the relationships that work out for you. And this week, it's really about being like, okay, this relationship is clearly not working. This is the week where you guys are cutting people off. Not necessarily like, you know, doing anything extreme, but I could see people just being like, I can't talk to this person. I have extreme reactions to their personality right now. And if you come back, right? But the whole point is that you have to learn something about yourself in relationships. There needs to be more self-awareness of your subconscious mind. What's happening? Where is your root going? Are you connecting to the right groups of people with the right soul tribe? Are you knowing that you are constantly evolving into more and more light bodies that require consistent routine and effort to attain? It's not just you get there. It's like all the work and immense, duty to going to these therapy, to going to, school, to going and talking to friends, to keeping these relationships up is showing that you're really playing your character, and it doesn't have to be this scary character that gets into trouble all the time. It could be this soft, loving person. You don't have to look soft and loving, but as long as you know that life is about being soft and loving at some point, if not to anyone, to yourself, then you're good. For Sagittarius rising this week, it's really about understanding that you guys are leading in the energy of cutting people off. I wish a Scorpio rising or a Scorpio would talk to you guys, but I think that they're going, no, I'm joking. That was creepy. Safe. For Sagittarius rising this week is really about communicating, staying on top of communicating. You guys are manifesting clients. You guys are getting work. You guys are staying out of trouble. You guys are rocking your love life, your creative life. Keep it up, Sagittarius rising. Keep getting into the root of where you want to be, your aspirations. Do not let anyone, remind you of negativity, because you need to stay out of negativity, because I think it can really bring your vibration down. For Capricorn rising this week is really about valuing yourself and getting into the cosmic rhythm of your career again, and seeing the root of, where you want to be, where you aspire to be, who's stopping you, and staying away from the negativity as well, kind of like Sagittarius rising. I really think it's important to realize that a lot of your foundations are coming from your soul tribe, and getting to the wisdom and heart of that. Are people going off and doing drugs and losing their mind? Do I need to associate with these people when I'm trying to land a huge business deal? Do I have time? Can you find the funny humor in Aries season with the new moon total eclipse that's happening next week out of everything? Maybe everything is just super beautiful right now, but just make sure that you don't take off too high, that you forget to respond to really important emails. For Aquarius rising this week is really about understanding that, there is a lot going on. And it's like you can only say or do so much before somebody will really act out on their own territory and their own behavior. But we, out of all people, know Aquarius rising really do know that we do need new things moving in humanity. And your vibration alone, the things you do, the things you say, the way you sign off, is really at mastery level for some of you. And for some of you, you're learning how to be the master of your reality. Keep conducting the electricity to the people, and everything will be great. For Pisces rising this week, it's really about understanding vibration, the vibration of words, the vibration of what you're doing. And for you guys, things can be less specific at times, but that's how you really let the magic happen. It's not this concrete layer by layer, everything is happening like this. Sometimes with you guys, everything manifests in this magical way, and that's just because you're a Pisces rising. This week, it's really about understanding, where do you want to be in the next 10 years? Do you want to be in the same city? Do you want to be in the same living situation? And how are you doing those things? For some of you, it is really thinking broad, so that the more day-to-day routines are easier. And I think that it's really about understanding with this Pluto and Aquarius in 12th house, that humanity needs you to hold a vibration. And that vibration is sustained through journaling, through creative abilities, and people seeing you bring the compassion to situations. That's when the light really does emerge. Even if situations feel overdone or oversaid, there could always be more added to the perception of the reality of the situation, especially if some of you guys are going through grief, or some of you guys are going through something sad right now. There's no shame in that, and there's no shame in being able to realize that, yes, South Node in Libra is in the 8th house. So maybe some relationships are separated right now, or some things feel like, hard or far away because people are hardening or things are changing, but it's you who brings the compassion into your life, and people do respond to that vibration. So thanks so much for tuning into the week of March 27th through till April 3rd, 2024 with Underwater Astrology. Namaste. Much love. Underwater Astrology.